We've gone 1:01, so we'll kick it off. So thank you everybody that has joined. Really great to have you here at this lunchtime session. We hope it'll be really informative for all of you. My name is David Cass. I'm a partner in Sia Partners in Dublin. I look after our transformation and change team. I'll be joined today by colleagues from our data and AI team, Tiago and Pierre, and also from our strategy team, Neil, Ganeen and Donal. This is our fourth event with the MBA Association of Ireland. The last few have been in person, so this is our first online event, and it's our first as Sia Partners. So we were previously called Pathfinder Consulting up until the middle of last year when we were bought by a global firm, Sia Partners, and it's our first event in the MBA Association as that. I've been part of the association since I did my MBA in 2006, so it's great to keep the connection going and to keep the information flowing. We'll go through an agenda in a minute, lots of people joining, but I'll probably want to pass, we're going to do a quick introduction. We're going to have Michael Bullman, the president of the MBA Association, to have a talk to us. And then we are going to go back to Donal, who's going to give a bit of an update on Sia Partners Ireland, and then we'll get into the meat of the data and AI piece with Pierre and Tiago. We will take questions at the end, if that's okay. If people have questions as you go, please put them into the comments section. And what we'll do at the end is we can then take the questions from the comments and moderate them and pass that back to the guys as we go. Okay, so there's lots of people joining. So in the interest of getting things going, I'd like to hand over to Michael Bullman, who wants to make a few words on behalf of the association. Go ahead, Michael.
David, thanks. So guys, just on behalf of the MBA Association, just to welcome everybody to the event and thank people for taking the time out of their day. I think it'll be a fascinating run through on AI and how that helps business decisions. And from my point of view, I guess honoured to do this for the first time as the president of the MBA Association. I'm particularly pleased to be doing it with Sia Partners. So we've worked with Dave and the guys really well in the past, and it's great to be running another event. As David said, all of our previous events with Sia have been in person, and indeed this is part of a suite of events we've been running over the last 12 months virtually, and we're getting a really strong reaction from the membership. So that's great to see, and great to see so many people present on the event today. I think everybody's keen to get back to face-to-face events, but I think there's definitely room for a combination of the two as time goes on, because I think it's much easier to logistically just to attend some of these virtual events, and they're really informative and really enjoyable. So in fact, our next event is on the 1st of April with a fireside chat with a HBR speaker, Alex Lazarov, and that's available to sign up already on our website. So just bear that in mind and have a think about whether you would do that in the future. So look, without further ado, I'll hand back to David and Donal to take the event forward. But yeah, look, thanks again, guys, for running this, and very happy to receive any feedback after the fact from any of the members on how well it's gone.
That's great. Thanks a million, Michael. Donal, I'll hand over to you and we'll get going.
Thanks, David. Thanks, Michael. Pierre, I just want to jump on to the next slide, I suppose. So look, I'm just going to take you through, I suppose, a quick introduction of Sia Partners, as I'm sure many of you would have heard of us, but maybe some of you might not. So who are we? So we're a global consulting firm with a strong local presence. As you can see there, we've got 1,800 consultants across 31 offices globally. And really, I suppose, where we're trying to take the organisation, we've got a strong growth ambition. As you'll see today, we're investing quite a lot in tech and design. I suppose it's our firm belief that that's where the market is going, and that's where our clients need our support. And I suppose as part of that, we're investing quite a lot. So as you can see, 4% of our revenue annually is invested in research and development. In terms of our local presence, so actually our Sia Partners is a strong heritage in Ireland, just under a different brand. So Sia Partners bought out Pathfinder Consulting last year. And Pathfinder was set up, I suppose, in 2006. Has been working with many of the brands that you recognise in your daily life since then. Just want to jump onto the next slide, Pierre. And as you can see there, that's broad spectrum in terms of where our offices are and also our services. So we're a full service management consultancy ranging from, as you can see there, actuarial sciences, business transformation, right through to data science, which the guys are going to take you through today, e-commerce, growth and innovation, strategy, and all the way through to supply chain and logistics. So we really have, I suppose, quite an in-depth expertise in many industries and across many service lines. Next slide, Pierre. So just in terms of Ireland specifically, so what we're now starting to do is bring the likes of AI and data science, and I suppose build them into what is our core offering. And I'll let you read the slide there, but really a lot of what we try to do is work with our clients to mobilize, I suppose, business strategies and sitting on the client side, I suppose, in terms of supporting them with that. And obviously, as you can imagine, given the climate we're in today, that's probably heightened the need and focused a lot of organizations' expectations and probably needs in terms of where they're trying to push. And we're very much trying to support them in doing so. Next slide, Pierre. And then just quickly in terms of some of the clients. So as you can see there globally, a lot of the brands that you'd recognize, both in Ireland, in Europe, and I suppose the US and further afield. From an Irish perspective, I suppose a lot of our work would be around business and finance clients, banking, semi-state utilities, life sciences, and also agribusiness. So really, we've got quite a strong footprint across a lot of these organizations, and we're trying to support them in their growth opportunities. And that's probably it for me. So Pierre, I'll hand back to you now if you want to do an introduction to the AI side of things.
Yes, sure. Thank you, David, for this. Today's topic is about AI and data science capabilities. I will say just a few words about how did we build our AI and data science capabilities within Sia Partners, and how we are used to bundle our consulting firm, let's say, capabilities with these advanced analytics topics. Today we are two of us to present some topics. I'm with Thiago Pereira. For myself, I'm based in Paris, but we're looking at the Center of Excellence of Data Science within Sia Partners we built in London and in Amsterdam. So I'm, let's say, looking at the development of data science within Sia Partners and with our clients, European clients. Thiago, maybe some words about your...
Yeah, so I'm based in London, and I'm heading the practice here and pushing data science to our projects in consulting and merging these two topics. Yeah.
So we will be talking about augmented consulting, how to see, how to change the way to make consulting and integrating by far more data within our problem-solving issues. And to do so, what we did a few years ago, that's integrating data scientist profiles, but not only. As soon as we are talking about data scientists, we will be talking about data analyst, data engineer, data scientist, people able to make data visualization, and we open up all these data talents and capabilities also to DevOps engineer, MLOps. So that's a lot of words about the profiles running around the data, and we tried at least to be to do it strongly. So we are 150 people, close to be 10% of our employees do have advanced analytics and data science capabilities. We do have 31 offices all over the globe, but here we decided to have only 5 centers of excellence in Europe and North America, Montreal and New York for North America, and I said Amsterdam, London, and Paris for Europe. And the way is to build strong value for our clients using, at first, AI-driven accelerators. So we do have a showroom dedicated to the vision of use cases, and we'll go through some of them with Thiago today. So we've got 200 what we call bots, so that's the way to merge together some problem solving, some case studies, way with, let's say, today's algorithms together. On top of it, we say that we find some traction, commercial traction with our clients, and we find some value beyond it. So we decided to move forward and have, let's say, an application factory, not only a bot factory, but developing this solution under license. So that means keeping the intellectual property of it. And so we do have a platform as a service internally called ECA, and helping us developing not only 2 or 3 scripts together, answering some questions of our clients, but going one step further and being able to answer this question 24/7 all over the globe, and with strong SLAs. I gave you some info about kind of profiles we can find behind data scientists. For sure, what's quite important, it's to be able to build a product at the end. So for the last 5 years, we've been integrating UX, UI developers and designers and web developers, for sure, but also that data engineers and DevOps, meaning pushing it to the product line. And that could be for us, as we are developing ECA products, but that could be also for our clients, helping them moving from the proof of concept phase to the product phase. And that's in this long journey of AI, we need to for sure develop and capitalize a lot of capabilities all around, from data capture, modeling for sure, data visualization, and deployment at the end. So today we'll go through some examples of AI application linked business needs we've been developing recently. We'll be talking about deep review, Optimise, and contract management here, but we do have 12 of them. That's a way to be accelerators for our clients, that we are not just IT vendors, for sure. We are still problem solvers as data scientist consultants, but we are used to merge together this approach of merging together services, the way to answer our clients' questions and issues using our expertise capabilities, as David said, but adding on top of it our data science capabilities, and when required, we do have a platform and some products to have it on it. That was just a short intro about how we are running this activity, data science activity. Today we will go through on the first step, let's say, talking about AI and business. How to merge all together and not be too technocentric, just talking about algorithms, but keeping an eye on use cases. That's our initial job as consultants, being problem solvers. So we'll be talking about leveraging data for business, and if you want, we'll go through 4 sneak peeks, some illustrations of case studies we did last year, I think most of them, for some of our clients, and looking at all the issues and all the problems we had to tackle to succeed in this long journey, this long AI journey. Maybe Taylor, you have
Yeah, sure. So these are some of the main AI topics that you probably have heard around. So language processing or neural networks, these are big words that we are used to hear nowadays. But actually today, and Pierre, you can go next slide, we want to do the bridge between those topics and these 3 main areas in a business life, right? So when we think in business, in improving business, we usually think productivity, marketing, and maybe consumer experience. We should at least. I think one of the biggest challenges for introducing AI into business is actually to bridge the gap. How do we tackle problems with AI into these sectors? So looking closely to productivity first, and Pierre, next slide please. We can divide, for example, into 2 main topics, although probably there are others, but we want us also to be focused on some that we are going to present. And for example, optimization problems can be of usually 3 types. You can optimize processes, usually doing some robotic processing automation to streamline how we do processes and enhance the way we do them. We can also look at optimization of routes, so figuring out what are the best routes in terms of logistics for a truck or a car to take. And schedules is regarding looking at, for example, production lines, which products should you choose first to comply with some service level agreements or with any other objective criteria that you have, such as production throughput or minimizing costs. Then on another side of productivity, we have also forecasting capabilities. So when we want to plan how we are going to do our business, we usually rely a lot on how we forecast our sales, our budget, which amount of demand we are going to have, how should I set my prices. And being able to do accurate forecasts into the future allow us to do better planning and prepare the next actions that we are going to take more effectively. Once we start talking about sales, then we also jump up to the other sector, that is marketing. And in marketing, we also divide it in 2 main areas. The first one, I would say, competitor analysis. So knowing what our competitors do, how can we, so what are their market, how are they acting, where are they acting, where can I go in and grab a piece of the market for myself. Another point is in web scraping is actually collecting the data from these competitors. So being able to analyze through all of their data as well, and consequently going into some reverse engineering modeling, so trying to figure out how the competitors are actually producing their products and their services. They are giving you a service based on some criteria that gives them some margin, and if we can understand how they actually do that, we can also tune our own approach to the same service and product to be competitive with theirs. And then we also have customer knowledge, and in customer, sorry, one before you. So in customer knowledge, we start by knowing our customers, by customer segmentation, understanding what can be their journey throughout their lifetime with our company, and by understanding both our clients and their journey, we can also set up some recommendation systems to allow us to say what is the best next product or service I will recommend to this person, or what is the next action that I should take with this person. And then this customer knowledge takes us then to the consumer experience. We all are only able to give to our customers what they want if we know beforehand what they want, and we only can do that by social listening. And Pierre, can we go one slide forward? So we can only do that if we do some social listening, understand what are our clients looking for, what are their complaints, talking with them, and when talking with them, we have to make sure that our communications quality it's very good. So we want them to feel engaged with our company and to feel free to come to us because it's in this interaction that we are going to get to know our customers better. We'll also be able to prioritize issues that might be rising from all of or a great part of our customers, and be able to say I should address point A before point B because more people are concerned about those. It's very important. We also have sentiment analysis, so understand are the reviews from my customer good or bad, in which topic are they good or bad, and we'll see a case of these forward in the presentation. And finally, understanding what is the level of loyalty of my customer. So if I provide him a good service, I expect that the loyalty will be high and that I'll churn my customer. and I can assess the degree of this loyalty by listening to my customers and trying to give them what they want, right? So this then, tackling these projects can then be made in, so it has some structure that we use to tackle each of these projects and to take them from a business perspective into a more AI perspective and machine learning, and back to a business perspective in terms of valuation. And Pierre, I think that maybe you can take it from here in terms of the valuation of projects.
Yeah, sure. We're talking about this AI journey. For sure, as you see, we are 150 data scientists, or people who are doers, building, writing down all these algorithms, connecting all the dots and all these data pipelines, for sure. What's quite important, as it is for some companies, brand new topics, integrating slowly but surely AI within their process, you will need, for sure, to have this global vision of valuation, let's say, how to evaluate an AI topic, an AI project, and being able in, let's say, 2-3 months, that's typically the time required to see whether you've got some value behind this data or not, or enough value behind this data. And so even if we are doers, as consultants, we are used to deploy AI roadmaps. So being able to list, and what we are doing for main companies, usually that's listing from 50 to 200 use cases. So we've got at first a business approach, looking at where can we merge together one issue you do have with one algorithm, and let analyze it with several axes. First, the axis of revenue and cost, revenue generation. As soon as you're developing new products, maybe you can target new clients and sell these new products. That could be also seen as a way to automate. AI most of the time can help automating a lot of tasks. So that's close to RPA, but that helps saving some pounds. You can also evaluate your project in reducing the time you're spending contacting your clients, resolving all the complaints you do have, reducing some depth. So that could be evaluated in hours, let's say. And last but not least, could be helpful also to communicate and to get some image gain on this topic. So that's quite important to follow up this topic, because a lot of people are quite technocentric as far as we're talking about AI, and we know that AI is not solving all the issues. And most of the time, as soon as we're talking about image recognition, for example, we're quite good at 85, 90, 92% of efficiency. So that means you still have some path to do still with humans, not only bots and algorithms. So all this needs to be put into equation and be looked at. And maybe last but not least, I've been enumerating quickly all the data talents we can find, and I think every month we do have 1 or 2 more people joining the expertise of DevOps, of industrialization, putting to production some proof of concept. People much more on model design, but we do have also data steward, BI specialists, data engineers. And as soon as you're making a proof of concept and want to make it scaling up, you will have to integrate much more experts around the table. And these experts are not full-time, but always available. So that's quite interesting to follow up all these proof of concept to production path, looking at the people you will need internally, for sure. And we're talking about pizza team, people coming from several departments and joining their force for a few time, for, I don't know, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, some sprints, as soon as we're talking about, as soon as we are working in an agile way, most of the time, mixing together business and data, most of the time in the same team, so for a few time. That's a good question, and that's a way for HR people also to tackle the coming issues of how to transform capabilities and skills internally within a company, switching from data analytics to data science, for example, and then you will have much more specialized people maybe to hire. Here we are. That was a global vision. If you do have questions, I do not have the vision of your faces and of your cams, if they are on. We wanted to make it quite pragmatic and with some vision of what we are doing currently for some of our clients, and make some sneak peeks about. We're talking about AI, okay? What's the link with all the topics, Thiago, you've been addressing as business topics, and what's the way we integrated? What was the difficulties we encounter, for example? So we selected 4 of them, and maybe we'll take a few minutes to describe some of them. Deep review, which is the way to scrap all the social media and being able to give you some weak signals or strong signals of what's going on with your customers. We did it at La Poste in France recently. We will be talking about demand forecast also here in the energy sector, but this topic can be extended to all kinds of sectors such as retail, all kinds of sectors. So we are doing some forecast, a lot of forecast for Scottish Power Energy Networks in Glasgow. Some topic about Optimise. We'll be talking about operational research and route optimization. And then last one for an Asian client, banking industry, the way to enhance and accelerate your productivity as soon as we're talking about contract management. Being able to go through thousands of documents quickly and analyze them. Thiago?
Yeah.
If you want to start with maybe deep review?
Yeah, sure. So as I was speaking before, the ability of hearing our customers is very important, and understanding what they are thinking of our services and products. And we have developed a tool that actually does exactly that. So it scrapes continuously massive amounts of reviews on each of our points of sale or branches of our business. And through NLP, so natural language processing techniques, and tries to find what are the main topics that these reviews address, and what is the sentiment behind those reviews. So for each of my point of sales, I'll have a view that on those specific topics, people are more satisfied or less satisfied. And on our tool, we actually did this in a way that you can then explore the data very easily through dashboards. So as you can see in the picture, we are able to see where each point of sale is located, where the reviews came from, what are the reviews and their score, and what is the sentiment analysis that we can see on each of these topics, and gives us the ability to more easily prioritize issues, take action more quickly, and know our customers better. So try to understand what can we provide them next as well. If you can go to the next slide. So additionally to the dashboard, when we can have a macro view of the different points of sale, we can also go deeper into each of these points of sale and explore what is happening specific for that point, compare it with other points, see where they differ, why they are getting different reviews, and what are the main differences that you probably need to tackle on one to get it closer to the one that might get better reviews. Also, the ability of analyzing how your satisfaction trends are going over time. So understanding if you are getting better, if you are going worse for some reason, if it's specific of one region, of one point of sale. So you can drill down at any geographic level and understand what is going on there. So we also have here a quick video where we can see these dashboards that I'm just explaining. and how they work. So you have access to these reviews and comparisons between the different points of sales. See exactly, this was used for banking branches, as you can see there, and see how these branches compare and the reviews go on. Maybe, yeah. Anything you want to add here, Pierre?
Thank you, Thiago. So most of the time, this is a tool helping the marketing departments anticipating what's going on within their agencies network, let's say, as soon as you do have, and mostly with COVID effect impact for sure, some strong dynamic, let's say, closure of point of sales in some activities. So that's a way to master at least this vision and to give some indicators, building some KPIs, and put in place all the action required. And here we are much more on the consulting side as soon as we are using this tool to go one step further. We do have a second topic about how to integrate AI within, let's say, real-time activities. And here we are dropping down the view within the control room at Scottish Power in Glasgow. So we are helping, we've got some assignments with Scottish Power as a consulting firm, for sure. And we went one step further with one ECLAP platform with data science capabilities last year, 2 years ago, helping them integrating, let's say, the vision for the coming days of what's going on in terms of energy flows on their network. So here we're talking about demand forecast, for sure, electricity demand forecast, mostly, but also about renewables. And all the screens you're looking at right now have been co-constructed with Scottish Power. So that's a way to sit all around the table when we were able to sit in the same room with UI, UX designers, with web developers, with the business activities. Here, people running the Scottish network every day, and going further about, okay, how do we tackle this issue? What should be the forecast you need, the way you want to see it. So here, that's around 30,000 forecasts a day run on a platform 24/7 to help an energy utilities actor. What's behind that AI? That's in fact time series forecast for the real name. So how to be able to forecast using machine and deep learning techniques, some time series. Here you've got a view of what's consumption like over the day, over 4 days here. And the main issue here is to integrate the energy transition and the integration of new generators, such as wind and solar parks, for most of them. And here what's quite nice, it's even if we're going to integrate much more machine and deep learning techniques, which can be, let's say, seen as black box, we are attempting to do it with what we call an expert aggregation. I explain, we are running all this model design, but we can also add like quite pragmatic point of view. A single recopy of what occurred yesterday is a nice forecast, in fact. So we started from simple and single forecast to add several of them and improve quality step by step. And we are doing also serious gaming to help people, so that's network dispatchers, people that will be using these tools, this forecast, to play and to validate, invalidate this calibration, this learning phase. And that's bringing a lot of value to the forecast first, and then a way to lead change management within the teams, to integrate them from the beginning, in fact. And mostly as soon as things are changing quickly. Here we do have an example of what occurred on the Scottish electricity network during the last lockdowns. That's quite strong, that's quite fast, how do you adapt your business? How do you adapt all your process? Or how do you adapt yourself to such a 30% reduction of consumption from your clients? And here we've been helping them with algorithms, for sure, but also finding good techniques to drop the demand forecast, to adjust the demand forecast, even if we have never seen this before in all these historical data we do have. So that's a mix of statistics, machine learning, and for sure the link to the business owners and the way to integrate it within the tools. So here we've been helping Scottish Power for wind power curtailment during last summer, as soon as people were consuming by far less due to lockdown and COVID-19 impact, and strong wind production. So here a short vision of the platform we've been deploying, using a lot of features, so scrapping a lot of data. Weather and climatic data are quite important, but on top of these data sets, you do have internally in your companies, that's the ability to build new modules, new algorithms to bring indicators and being able to put on top of the list the coming issues you will see here on an electricity network. Here we are.
So to take you on another example, in this case of route optimization. So in route optimization, it's a typical example for logistic companies where you have to find what are the best paths to go through, where to deliver each product. So it involves looking at several constraints and try to figure out what is the best possible combination of my products, routes, time, cost to reach a global objective that you can define. So it can be having the lower duration of the trips, it can be having the lowest cost possible, it can be having the highest rate of delivery products. So we developed also this product in our own platform to be able to tackle these issues. And as you can see, this was done in France for a company which had several points of sale scattered around the country, and also several warehouses. So the issue in this use case would be to figure out how much products of each category should I take from one warehouse to my different points of sales, which warehouse should actually supply which point of sale, how many trucks do I need to send, is it better to send one big truck or two small trucks? So all of these constraints go into our problem. And the first phase of solving one optimization problem is the ability of converting all of these business requirements into mathematical formulation, understanding how am I going to represent the capacity or the autonomy of my trucks, how am I going to model the paths, do I use a map, do I use the road map, or do I use some other map? How am I going to, so what is my objective actually in the end? Should it be the cost or the time? Being able to put everything down and write the mathematical formulation for these kind of problems, we can then solve them in 3 different ways. The typical way is using industry solvers that will search all of the possible solutions and find you what is the optimal solution that you are looking for towards your objective. Then if your problem is very big and you have like so many points of sale that the number of combinations to explore, it's infinite almost, you can rely on new quantum techniques where you can actually run through all of these configurations way more quicker than traditional computers can do. And finally, if you are not interested in the best and optimal solution, but you actually have a demand on time and you need to run this optimization way more quicker, you can settle for an approximation of the optimal solution and use meta-heuristics to find a best approach not an optimal one, but near optimal solution. And as a result of solving one of these problems, we can see the results that we can get from this tool in the next slide. So we can, for example, get the exact schedules that our trucks need to be doing and where they are going to deliver at which time, how much quantity of each product. We know the routes that they are going to take, whether they need to go to 2 points of sale and come back to the warehouse and go to another point of sale. And we also have a view of the main
Thiago, is it me?
No, I think you might have stalled, Pierre.
We lost Thiago?
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like it.
Yeah, okay, well, I will go on.
Yeah.
And so maybe to...
He's back.
You're back, Thiago?
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I was finishing just, I'm not sure where you stayed.
20 seconds ago.
Well, okay, so I was already talking on KPIs?
Not at the beginning or so. Let's finish with it.
Okay. Okay, yeah, so we can show a little bit this tool running. Next slide, maybe. I'm sorry about my connection. It's not. So in this case, it's not specifically regarding the use case that we were talking before, and this actually is to show that these algorithms don't only solve root problems, but in this case, it's actually about the grid of gas, if I'm not mistaken, and to solve where should the grid connect to main pipelines. So it's also an optimization problem, and it's something that we can solve with the same techniques. It's just a matter of actually formulating the problem mathematically in the way that we can solve it.
So yeah, that's why we built this this accelerator internally called Optimise to help doing these assignments for retailer companies, for energy companies. Here we are. And maybe a last, if we do have some time left before questions, last topic about contract management. That's a way to optimize your process for sure. We are using this tool mostly in the banking industry. So here we've got some extraction within an Asian bank, but we are doing it also in New York and in Montreal to help people go through all that kind of documents. So that could be PDF, Word files, Excel files, PowerPoints, whatsoever. That's the ability not to do by hand what maybe a consultant would have done to go through 1,000 contracts and review them according to the last regulation rule that appeared locally. Here it's to be able, even if it's not native PDFs, that's images, as you can see here, being able to process all this data and make what we call data extraction, data points extraction. So that's going through, for example, a lot of contracts, getting their name, the main entities within this contract. So to make the link of companies, if you do have some cross links between contracts, that's looking at some part of text. So here we're talking about NLP techniques. We were talking about OCR, optical character recognition, as soon as we're taking an image of the contract and not a native Word or PDF. And then we are plugging NLP, natural language processing techniques on top of it. You've maybe heard of GPT-3 or all kind of new model design, mostly built in open source by Google, that we are using. We're starting from this point and make them learn a bit more with the data sets we do have. And here that's typically going through thousands of contracts and extracting all the data points and bringing back to operators the ability to go and find and tackle the issues they want to solve. so that's a lot of techniques, quite well known. We are saying AI, but in fact, some of them are quite. We are doing OCR for the last 30 years, so no real issue. But we do have some issues about getting the text and main pieces of the text, extracting from some tables, and redoing this table as it is within the existing document. So with OCR, NLP techniques, and a lot of other techniques, we are able to plug from A to Z this analysis. We are doing it in Arabic language also for the last year, helping some ministries in Saudi Arabia to do the same topic about, let's say, data extraction from a massive number of documents. Here we are. We went through a lot of topics, and we tried to be quite illustrative about how we do use these techniques as consultants within our client environments. Maybe you do have already some questions or some.
Yeah, I think if anyone has any questions, if they want to post